Let's talk about one of the biggest paradoxes in your career, a trap that almost everyone falls into, but no one talks about. The better you perform, the faster you grow. You'd think that would earn you more applause, more freedom to operate. But reality often plays out differently. You start to feel this intangible systemic resistance taking root. Approvals slow to a crawl, new rules appear out of nowhere, skeptical questions surface in meetings you weren't even in. Forget about personal effort. Here's the brutal truth the system doesn't want you to know. The system doesn't reward speed. It controls risk, and your fast growth is the risk it's designed to suppress. All right, stop for a second. Picture this scenario. When a team or an individual achieves breakthrough growth, doubling performance, explosive user numbers, a sudden technological lead, all in a shockingly short time, what do you think the system's first priority will be? A, shower them with more resources and authority to capitalize on the momentum. B, publicly celebrate them, holding them up as a model for everyone else. C, initiate more frequent reviews, deeper assessments, and likely introduce new governing processes. Drop your judgment in the comments. By the end of this, we'll analyze why excessively fast growth often triggers the system's built-in defense protocols, not its celebration routines. Let's break down why speed scares the system. First, understand speed from the system's perspective. It's not value creation, it's a risk variable. Imagine a startup, let's call it Spark Tech. Its product sees user growth of 1,000% in 6 months, a shining star to the media and investors. But on the back-end dashboard of the large platform it depends on, a new tag appears next to Spark Tech's name. Growth rate anomaly, high risk node. Recommend increased monitoring and compliance checks. The system doesn't see a shining example of innovation. It sees a ticking time bomb, something that could disrupt everything it has built. But why exactly does it react like this? Stick around and we'll break it down in the next segment. The system's instinct isn't to embrace, it's to fortify. Stricter API limits, more cumbersome data sharing approvals, endlessly detailed quarterly reviews. If your rapid rise has ever met with this kind of compliance escalation, type monitor below. Second, consider the price of disrupting rhythm. Your fast challenges the system's core need, predictability. Any system's imperative is to maintain a predictable, controllable state. Steady, slow growth can be modeled, managed. Excessively fast growth is a rhythm disruption. It makes the system's existing prediction models obsolete, forcing it to react before it even understands the new situation. And that uncertainty is the primary risk it must mitigate. Take Wall Street, for instance. Imagine a young fund manager who delivers returns that leave everyone in the dust. Sounds like a win, right? But what happens next might surprise you. Don't go anywhere. We're about to dive into why this could be the beginning of their toughest challenge yet. Risk and compliance will demand more frequent, more detailed reports on his positions. The investment committee might slap extra limits on his trading size. His speed doesn't win him greater freedom. It attracts more intense scrutiny, stricter constraints, because his rate of success has moved outside the system's comfort zone for normal risk. Third, witness the generation of structural resistance. The system doesn't nourish what grows too fast. It prunes. When a system senses that one part's growth speed might threaten the balance or stability of the whole, it automatically generates structural resistance. This isn't always malicious suppression. Often, it's just the system's impersonal mechanism for maintaining its own integrity. This resistance manifests in ways you know. Suddenly elongated budget approvals, collaborations that now need a VP's sign-off, flexible policies interpreted with sudden rigidity, or the deliberate introduction of a counterbalancing team or role. The ancient strategist Han Feizi put it piercingly well. When branches grow too large for the trunk, they will not withstand the spring wind. The meaning? If the branches, the local parts, grow too fast and too big, while the trunk, the overall system, remains relatively unchanged, the whole structure becomes unstable. The system's instinct is to prevent any part from growing so fast that it consumes excessive resources or creates structural risk, so it prunes. In modern terms, that pruning is silent control. It's deceleration mechanisms dressed up as process and oversight. This isn't personal. It's systemic calculus. Han Feizi's legalist philosophy reveals the core logic. The focus of governance isn't on moral good or bad. It's on controlling momentum and risk. From the system's viewpoint, excessively fast growth is a mutation in momentum. It introduces a triple threat. 1, the risk of lost control. Your speed outruns the system's management capacity and its ability to comprehend what you're doing. 2, the risk of imbalance. Resources and attention get sucked into your fast-growing node, disrupting internal equilibrium. 3, the risk of dependency. Other parts of the system might become overly reliant on you, creating a single point of failure, increasing the whole system's fragility. Therefore, the system's reaction isn't about your intentions. It's pure risk control. It tries to re-anchor you, to fit your high-speed growth into a predictable, manageable box by adding processes, reviews, and rules. The resistance you feel, that's the system pricing the risk of your unquantifiable speed. Let's look at a real adapted case. A London fintech called Nexus Pay. They built an innovative cross-border payment solution and saw explosive growth in African markets. Transaction volume grew 80 times in a single year, an industry dark horse. But as its scale expanded rapidly, it hit a wall of resistance from multiple systems. The banking system. Partner banks moved it from innovative pilot to significant but high-risk partner, demanding higher cash reserves and extending its settlement cycle. The regulatory system. The Financial Conduct Authority placed it on a priority assessment list, demanding unprecedented data for audits and assigning a permanent liaison officer, a watcher. The ecosystem. Technology partners renegotiated contracts, fearing its rapid growth would weaken their own bargaining power. Nexus Pay's CEO said with a tone of resignation, "We outran the market, only to find the track suddenly covered in speed bumps. Every institution cheering for us was also quietly fastening a heavier seatbelt around us. Sometimes it feels like a straitjacket." This resistance isn't about stifling innovation. It's the inevitable process of a system trying to normalize, to bring under risk control, an anomalous growth it can no longer ignore. Let's go back to that question. If you chose C, you've just uncovered the mechanism at play. The system's response to rapid growth isn't applause, it's a defense mechanism designed to control risk. But what does this mean for you? Speed itself triggers an immune response. The system tries to digest your velocity by increasing the management cost, the process, the oversight associated with you. The price of growing too fast is trading short-term, astonishing momentum for a long-term environment of tighter scrutiny and more constrained space to operate. This deepens our look into Module D's long-term structural consequences. Not only can early success shrink your margin for error, but excessively fast growth itself activates the system's defenses, laying invisible speed bumps on your path forward, which leads to a final, ultimate paradox. If, through exceptional ability and indispensable work, you finally become the widely recognized essential person, the key node within the system, does that mean you've achieved ultimate security and freedom? Quite the opposite. In the system's logic, indispensability often means the disappearance of exit options. Your irreplaceability becomes your cage. In our next lecture, we advance to the fourth lesson of Module D. We'll reveal a cruel trap wrapped up in the idea of necessity. It's called Becoming Essential Removes Exit Options. We'll analyze why, the moment you become critically important, the system will instead try its hardest to lock you into your current position, why your very value becomes the greatest obstacle to your own mobility, and why sometimes becoming the key person means you shut the door on your own way out. If you've ever felt stuck by your own success, the next session will reveal how becoming essential might lock you in place. You won't want to miss it. Subscribe and turn on notifications now, because we're about to expose the hidden traps that no one warns you about.